Let
Alright.
me check. Let me hop on the live stream and see if it works.
Wait, check up on the live and see if it's going good.
Okay, wait. I was just on the live. Let me check it again. Yeah, it's live. It's live.
Alright, we're live. Let's go. Alright, hello everybody. Yo.
Hello everybody.
Let me hop on the live stream. Hello people.
Wait,
Hello.
Check
How's
up
everything
on
going?
the live and see if it's... Alright, let's
Everything's
do...
going good.
Alright, so let's
Wait,
check some of these topics we got here. Okay.
Yeah,
I
we
just
got
want to
some juicy topics over here.
because at the end, like we should introduce ourselves, but I think we should all introduce ourselves like now.
Yeah,
Alright.
okay, so who wanna go first?
Alright, so obviously I'm Bagels Battles, alright. If you're on my channel and watching this stream, you probably know that. And now, who is next up?
I could go next.
Alright.
Yeah, sure, Bacon.
I am Evil Bacon. You guys can call me Martin. That's my real name. And yeah, I have a channel too where I discuss like Resident Evil stuff. So if you're interested in that, definitely go check it out.
Yeah, and I'm a Raccoon City survivor. Yeah, and my name is Amir. You can call me that, yeah. Whatever you prefer.
Make sure to go check everybody out. I did not put their channel links in the description. I forgot to. But if you're watching this as a VOD, then yes, their channel names will be and links will be in the description. But yeah, go check out a Raccoon City Survivor, Evil Bacon, Purple Herb, and I'm not sure if Mr. Kennedy makes content, but if he does, make sure to go check him out.
But if you feel nice, you might as well go subscribe to me, because I don't know, I might start doing stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the last one. So, yep, I'm Mr. Kennedy. You can call me Edo. My real name is Eduardo, but you can call me whatever you want. And yeah, here we go.
All right, so the first topic that we got here, I'm gonna check it. All right.
Yeah, I also gotta open
First one you
topics.
Thoughts on the Resident Evil Village DLC? Okay. What are your guys' thoughts
Who wants
about?
to go?
Yeah. All right,
wants to go
so
first?
I'm gonna say a Raccoon City Survivor should go first here.
So, first of all, I'm gonna tell you all that I haven't played it yet, but I watched it entirely on YouTube, and I have played the demo, the third-person demo, too, and it felt pretty solid. The controls were good, not as good and smooth as Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake, obviously, but still, after all, it's, you know, first-person RE8 turned into, well, third-person. It was pretty cool. And besides, the story was good, actually. I enjoyed it, especially the parts that was, you know, in Donna Beneviento's house, if I'm correct. I
Yeah,
really
that
enjoyed-
part was terrifying.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it way more than the original campaign. I mean, the baby doll was totally fine, but it didn't get me. But the other dolls in this DLC, they were really good. They were really well designed, honestly.
Yeah, like Mia's doll.
Yeah, like
That was
the Mia mannequins. Oh god, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
Like,
I meant
there
to
was
mention
that was
one-
really cool.
Like there'd be one, then suddenly there's like four, and you're like,
Yeah,
what the
exactly,
heck?
Exactly.
All right,
And
wait, should I go next?
All right.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't
Bacon-
think Survivor.
Oh wait.
Wait, are you done, Survivor?
Yep.
All right, the
Alright,
Bacon
But
go
let me
next.
tell you that, but let me tell you all that I was kind of disappointed that the ending's boss fight.
Yeah, it
same.
was kind of the
I'm
same
going
as, like, I enjoyed it because I don't really have anything against Miranda as a character. Well, except for, you know, the whole her being evil situation. I don't know. But it was fun. All right. And I was really glad that Rose got rid of her didn't get rid of her powers, because, like, that just wouldn't be a very fitting thing. That just wouldn't make sense. But anyway, Bacon go next. All right, let's go.
Hey. So I actually loved it. I absolutely thought it was really cool. It was really cool. It lived up to my expectations, but as Raccoon City Survivors said, it didn't feel like a natural Resident Evil third-person game. It still felt like a little clunky. I think they should have just used like the coding they used for the 2 and 3 remake and put it into the DLC.
Oh yeah, like the third person mode. Like
Yeah.
how they did for the remakes, yeah, that would have been cool. I feel like they did that purposely as a thing to try to hide Ethan's face. And they probably
Yeah.
thought it'd be weird if they didn't use it for Rose as well.
And it's such bullshit. Because you can literally see his face. When you turn the camera, you can see half of his face. And then you can just put the pieces together and see exactly how his face looks.
And at the end of Shadows of Rose, right before he fell down, you could literally see his face.
Exactly, bro. It's so stupid.
And
Anyway,
at the end of 7, like
yeah, I thought that horror and like puzzles coming back, that it felt like a classic RE game. I loved that because it wasn't as like guns a blazing as Resident Evil 7 was. I mean 8. And that we weren't always using a gun, but that we were also hiding, and we were using like powers instead of just shooting someone in the head.
yeah.
Yeah, but I have 2 more things to say. I thought Donna holy shit, I can't pronounce her name. But in the middle of the game with the dolls, like the Mia dolls, when you would look at them and they wouldn't move, it reminded me of an episode of Doctor Who, The Weeping Angels.
Yeah, I've watched that one.
Yeah, it's so scary. That part, like, bruh, I was shitting my pants. Anyway, or no, that was actually another thing I want to say. I thought Rose meeting Ethan was really sweet, and that she actually got to talk to her father about her life and actually find out what he went through to protect her instead of just being in the shadows.
Yeah, I thought that was great as well.
Yeah,
and
I actually cried at
Michael was indeed Ethan, just like I predicted about, like, whenever the announcement
That was pretty obvious, if I'm gonna be honest.
It really was.
The part I cried at was, remember when Rose is reading that letter?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I got emotional when it was that part.
Yeah, and the ending. Okay, now I'm gonna go on a rant here. Miranda should have not been in the game at all. Get her nasty ass out of here. I don't want to see her face ever again. They just reused her entire model and boss fight for the DLC. Like, we could have gotten someone new. I know Evelyn was there, but we saw her in RE7 too. Like, bruh, can Capcom not make another villain?
I know. Oh, that's actually one of the topics we're gonna talk about. So after this, even though that's further down the list, should we just talk about that next?
Yeah, let's
Here
do
should be the
sure,
next
why
villain.
not?
But alright, so now, Mr. Kennedy, you go next.
Yeah, okay. I'll be very brief on this, cause I can't really say much about the DLC, cause I haven't played it, and I really haven't played RE Village. So, judging by like all the videos that I've watched, like I've watched a full playthrough. Well, the biggest complaint that I have from like the face value of like the videos I've watched is that they basically just reused the whole game. They like reused Lady D's castle. They like kind of repurposed the doll. I forgot her name. The doll's place, but like still like a bunch of reused assets. Like as Bacon said, they like basically just reused Mother Miranda and her boss battle. And in general, I would have like respected the DLC more if it was more original. Cause like literally, this is literally just going over every single place you've gone in RE Village, but like in a different order.
I'm just saying, at least, like at least the final boss, that area was a brand new place. I think.
That's true.
Well, no, it was actually where Ethan.
It was
yes, where Ethan and Evelyn met. But it was still kind of new because that whole part was basically just a cutscene. So, yeah. I like how they repurposed that area and the dollhouse. They made that creepy as hell. Like,
I just want to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be so cool if instead of going to Donna Beviento's house or Bevenani, okay, I can't pronounce it. Y'all are making fun of me.
Beneviento is the correct pronunciation, I believe.
Anyway, I thought it would have been so much cooler if we went back to the Baker house or the ship.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it would have made more sense to see Evelyn there instead of in the village's memories. Like,
Well, honestly, I like that they actually included Evelyn at all, cause like she's kind of like forgotten, cause like they didn't really talk much about like Evelyn in like RE8 apart from like documents and stuff. But like
I
I
mean,
really
she
liked how
was
like they really
uh,
embraced the fact that she's like supposed to be like the leader of like the Mega Myci, and like she's like supposed to like be in there in some way.
no, but she
Yeah.
was in a cutscene.
My question is,
In RE8?
Yeah.
if
Well, okay.
if Ethan wouldn't have killed Evelyn in RE7, do you think she would have became another lord? Like if the Winters, well, if obviously Mia would exist because she helped with the whole Evelyn thing. If the hurricane never happened and then they were able to get Evelyn to Miranda, like to the village Miranda lives in, do you think that since she was a failed experiment, do you think she would have just became another lord, or
Probably. I guess she
since
will
she
find a
couldn't really
place
be
in the
harmed
village.
without that thing the BSAA made, or the
Yeah.
whatever they were at the time, Blue Umbrella.
Yeah.
The
Most probably.
hurricane ended Ethan's life. Like, bruh.
I know.
Yeah, they killed him twice.
I said Ethan could have lived a nice life with Mia and Rose, but that damn hurricane had to come in.
I know, like, dang. Well,
Sad.
yeah, because Mia would have gotten done with that situation, just returned to Ethan, still in 2014. Like, bro, that hurricane, it's literally the butterfly effect. Although it is a video game, so.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I like when
Also,
that.
can we just talk about the Duke in the DLC? I mean, he was just there, you know.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, like.
confirmed
Yeah, I
that
didn't
it-
really like that. Cause like,
And after
cause like
that boss
honestly,
fight, he was not shown again, right?
yeah, literally
Yeah.
right after
Yeah.
that, they didn't like they could the least they could have done is at least like show them like dying or something. I don't want him to die, but like still like at least like have like an ending to his character in this
Bro.
DLC. 'Cause, like after that, he's just gone.
I feel like they
No,
just
but-
didn't want to make any new character models for this. Like, aside from Rose, which even was in the main game, they didn't make any new character models for this. I mean,
Yeah,
Kay,
it's
but
all reused assets.
'cause
Like apart
the
from like the
Duke-
Duke, like
because the Duke isn't even the Duke. He's just a random dude. It's like
yeah,
a,
he's like a reused asset. They
It's
literally
just
reused the
random
Duke and
ass
just like
dude,
give him a
like-
different purpose.
Yeah.
I know
aside
I
from the
asked you
face,
guys one question.
the face eaters
I
or
have a
whatever
question.
they're called.
What?
Huh?
Go ahead.
I mean, compare this DLC to Resident Evil 7's. I mean, Resident Evil 7's was full of mini games, tons of stories. I mean, banned footages or something. There were tons
Yeah,
of
that's true.
stuff and content in the DLCs,
Yeah.
and they were
Wait.
all original. Especially that
Yeah.
one that you have to play as Clancy and escape the room.
Yeah,
It was
like
Yeah.
really cool.
they gave us banned footage and stuff for like the RE7 DLC, and then we got the hero on top of that. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
we
they
even got, like,
tried to
the
do like a banned
card
footage.
minigame.
But RE8 was planning on having like a Chris DLC, but ended up scrapping the idea for a Rose DLC. It was gonna be like what is it called again? Damn. Not a hero,
Oh,
but like an
that'd
RE8 version.
have been pretty cool.
Like him dealing with the trauma. But I don't want to see Chris depressed again. Like, bro, I want to see new characters.
basically,
instead of a
since
depressed
Code Veronica, that's literally been his character. Because in
Exactly.
RE5,
Yeah, like-
he is sad over
honestly, yeah,
Jill.
after Code Veronica, it's literally Chris has just been like the PTSD man.
I know,
Literally,
for
that's-
real.
Literally,
Like, he
he
thought
only has
Jill
2
died
bullet
and
points. When you
everything.
describe Chris, it's one buff, boulder punching guy and depressed alcoholic.
For
Yeah.
real, man. Like, the whole amnesia situation, bro. Why didn't they bring Jill or... Well, I guess Claire was busy with, with Rev 2, but
For a sec.
the part where he got amnesia, like in Adonia, and then the 6 months in between then, Rev 2 wasn't happening then. It was just happening, like, when he was with Piers later, like, after he already
Yeah.
was dealing with it. Like, where
Yeah.
were Claire and Jill when they heard... Like, Claire obviously knows about it because, at the end of Rev 2, they literally, Claire's talking about Chris and Piers, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, did they just
Honestly, they should really bring back Jill in like RE9 and like have like a tie-in with like Chris, so like those guys can have like a reunion. Cause like Jill is the most underused character. Like literally before RE3 the like remake, Jill wasn't used at all. Cause like
oh
well you could count Code Run. Jesus, I'm fumbling.
Revelations?
You could count Revelations 1, but
But it
like
takes place
still
before Resident Evil
exactly like
5, so
I really want like a new Jill experience.
Yo,
Oh wait,
Purple Herb.
yo, Purple
yo,
Herb, what's
Purple
up?
Herb, welcome. What's
Hey,
good?
welcome.
What's
You're
good? Are
kind
y'all
of late,
live?
but that's fine.
All right, now that he's here, I guess he could go next. Purple Herb, you go next. What are your thoughts?
We're
Hold on,
talking about
I
the
don't even
DLCs
know
and
what's
stuff.
going on. Like, are we
On the
live?
DLC.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're
we're
live.
live. We're just doing the first topic, which is thoughts on the Resident Evil Village DLC.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I thought it was necessary because it ended the saga, the Winter Sagas. So I think it was, like I said, necessary. Did I have a fun time? I did. The whole Shadows of Rose DLC was very scary, especially like with the mannequins and stuff. So it really, hit that mark for it being scary for just the DLC. I did not expect that at all. But as far as like the overall feeling when I finished completing Shadows of Rose, I'm just glad it's over with. I wasn't too excited, for the DLC. Obviously, I was gonna play it and complete it so that we can know what happens.
What
But
about
other than
them
that,
bringing
it was,
Ethan back though? You
huh?
were you like excited at the end, like when they brought Ethan back? I know it was
Well,
expected
I
and
mean,
all,
really, if
but
you think about it, like whenever she was giving the names, right? Like whenever she first saw Michael, she was like, "Are you an angel? Are you like Angel
and he's just
Gabriel,
like,
Angel
sure.
Michael?" And he said Michael, so I was kind of like, okay, well, at that moment when she gave those options and Ethan like chose Michael or like whoever it was chose one of those names, I was kind of like, yeah, I bet it's Ethan at this point. And you also have to remember that
Really?
we all know that the Mega Might seed, it keeps the consciousness of those people who died around it. So we kind of knew Ethan was gonna appear, but like I said, I was surprised that Eve showed up. I didn't expect her to show up. That's for sure,
I
or
know,
whatever her name
especially
is.
because they didn't show her face in Well, I expected it because the trailer showed it, of course, but I
Yeah,
didn't
see,
expect
I
the
didn't
whole
even see
boss
that in
fight
the
and
trailer.
everything though. Like
Oh, wait a minute.
huh?
Wait, go first, Bagels. I have something big that I need to talk about that
Oh,
I
all right.
just.
Wait, Purple Herb, you continue if you're still talking. I don't know.
Oh no, pretty much like the DLC, it hit on all marks. I mean, was it something that I personally was looking for? Not really. But I'm just glad like the whole Winter Saga is over. The third person over the shoulder angle for like the story village, it was spot on. I think it was very fluent and fun to play in. But the mercenaries I haven't played in, so that's pretty much it for me. I'm glad the whole story is wrapped up for the Winters, and we're moving on at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I need to say my thing. So, we never saw the merchant die, and in the Mega Mycete, we see his body, right? But not his consciousness. Like Capcom's,
Oh.
that's another person, and if the Duke was alive, then his consciousness, or if I'm saying that wrong, sorry, I'm just when I speak fast, I do not pronounce right. Anyway, then his conscience would have been in his body. So he's
Yeah.
still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I don't really get it. Why like the Duke is there in the first place. They should have like explained it or like
There
given
was a
like an
file
actual
in the
reason.
game. I don't know if you all read it or not. I think it was Miranda's creation. That Duke that we saw there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
there was a
So
file in
it's
the
Why?
it's
game
literally just like
right
a
at the end.
fake. It's literally just
Mm.
fake. Like Miranda,
Yeah.
Miranda was like, yeah, sure. Let's just make like a fake version of the Duke for the Mega Mycete and like for like messing with Rose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
And that explains all the copies of Rose that that thing was creating. You know, the same
Yeah.
thing goes for the Duke in this
Space.
era.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So now moving on to my thoughts. I guess so I liked it. I was kind of so at first glance playing it, I was kind of skeptical of that K guy to begin with cuz I was like
Yeah.
you didn't find this research till 16 years later. Sure. But then all right, but I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting him to just be Miranda,
Yeah,
especially
that was
because
pretty cool.
it didn't show him to begin with. Like it never showed the actual K in the thing at all.
Yeah.
So honestly, I find it kind of funny because like this could go two ways. Because it could either be that Miranda was not real and like Rose was just like I don't know, like having hallucinations, things like the Mega Mycete, or Miranda was actually there, but like it's like not actually her, but it's just like a manifestation from like the Mega Mycete. So like I wonder, like what is it? Like was like Rose just like talking to herself like the whole time, or like what's up?
I know. All right, but at the end, I love the ending. All right, that was probably I'm literally about to say tied with Village, if not ahead of it, for the best ending in any Resident Evil game. Like, not even gonna lie. And then Ethan coming back from the dead, I kind of expected that. But then for him to die a freaking third time, like, bro's died more times than Goku at this point. Like, bro. They just need to cool off on him. But his hands were okay, so that's fine. He had all of
Yeah,
his
that's
fingers.
true.
That's hands.
And
And
then,
they at least like gave him a break.
but the story, though, the story of it was absolutely amazing. And then, so, the first castle part went a little slow, I have to say. But it was pretty fun. And the whole crystal situation, I didn't really get that. Like how you get the crystals. But I found the amplifiers to be actually really fun. Like, I think the amplifier things, like the flasks, especially because they were like the flasks that Rose has in
Yeah,
not
she was
that
saying.
Rose is in the main game, right? And
Yeah.
then the dollhouse part, alright, like don't even get me started on that. Just watch my live reaction. I was terrified. Like Jesus.
Yeah, I was
Alright.
getting frustrated because like I didn't know the pattern to take with the mannequins. Like when I first, are you talking about the mannequins, or are you talking about with Ethan?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the mannequins.
Yeah, with the
Like-
mannequins, like I ran, you run out the bedroom, and then you go down the, you go through the kitchen, up the stairs. So I went to the left, and there's a mannequin right there. Well, I kept looking at it, and I knew the other one was coming, so I was like, oh shit. And so I crouched down and turned around, and as soon as I turned around, the mannequin grabbed me, bro, and I was like, damn, this is very scary.
I don't think I ever got caught by the mannequins.
Yeah, same.
Like but it was pretty terrifying when there were 4 of them coming at you from all different directions. You just
Also,
gotta
the
use
walking
them.
animations was downright creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the mannequin
I thought
it
walking
was-
Oh yeah,
animations.
like the way
oh
they
gosh.
move.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was so scary when you would just look into like a dark hallway and you would see 2 pair of glowing eyes. And then when you walk away, you'll hear like someone walking. That was terrifying.
Yeah, they killed me like 5 times. I was like, bro, what is
Yeah,
going
true.
on?
I think I probably died 5 times throughout the entire game. If that, like, but, well, throughout the entire DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
then
I think that
the
was the only
part,
time I died.
the part
think I did
before she
once.
fought, wait, I don't remember if it's before or after she fought Evelyn, where she returned to the house from the beginning of Village,
That was before,
and then she
right?
found all them presents.
Yeah, that
and
was right
stuff.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's
right
after.
before.
That's after.
Oh,
Duke.
right before the Evelyn part, yeah, because it was when Rose was because when Rose was reading the letter, Evelyn came up. But that part where
Yeah.
you like find all the presents and you get to interact with different things around the house, that's
Oh,
just
that was pretty cool.
That was super cool.
Yeah. And seeing Ethan's like in the beginning of RE8 what he said and that Rose was reacting to that, it was just so heartwarming.
Also, this is a DLC all about winters. Where was Mia? You get what I mean?
That's
I
right.
know.
Mia was just
Yeah,
like,
'cause
Oh, that's
why is it
another
Mia
thing.
with Rose?
That's another
Yeah.
thing I was gonna bring up. Remember, she
Wait.
said when you're looking through the photo album, she says that she hasn't seen her mom in ages. Like, does
What?
that mean like did Mia die
what?
too, or like
No, but
what
I-
happened? Did you guys interact with the photo album so you could get that piece of dialogue?
No, that's the only.
yeah. But like one thing I think we need to keep in mind also is that Capcom never intended for there to be anything after Village. You know, I guess this is because of the fans and how Village was received so well. That's when they planned the DLC, and you see that as soon as you like boot up the DLC, it's boom, it's straight to Rose sitting on a bench talking to Kay, like straight from the get go. There's no like, oh, this is what happened after Village, or
Yeah,
you know,
there's no
there's nothing
world
like that. It's
building.
just like this DLC is strictly for Rose and to conclude the saga for the Winters, and that's it. That's all it is.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
But I didn't know why they decided to put the ending cutscene after the DLC. That was interesting. Because that got me
Yeah.
thinking, were they planning to do this before? Because I knew they weren't from the start, because I was like, why did it take them until June to start working on it of last year?
Oh.
And they just wrapped
I
up in
understand.
October of this year. Like,
I know why. I know why.
what? Because
Like,
it's originally going to be like for Chris or something.
No.
No, I don't think there
because-
was no DLC at all planned.
Yeah.
They
Well-
said something about it in June at last year in June at E3,
Oh
which
yeah, yeah.
was
But,
right after the game came out. So they might have been planning something else for a DLC. Like they probably were just planning third person mode, but then when they saw that the game was performing so well, they're like, why not add a little story to this as well?
Well, and if there's one thing that, you know, we should all know about Capcom, it's that they do listen to the fans. I mean, ever since Resident Evil 7, the fans have been like, yo, what the hell? Where's our third person, you know, perspective?
Mm-hmm.
And now we finally got it. Now we got the first official game where you can play either first person or third person, and come in February, you can do virtual reality. So it's like, you know, Resident Evil Village
Yeah.
is going to be known for that game that, you know, brought in all these ideas that the fans wanted
gotta give
Capcom
them
to
the
do.
credit.
Yeah, when you said Capcom listened to the fans, either for better or worse, like they kind of need to stop that though. Like everything is good and all, but like all the stuff is good, but the like people were saying RE6 was too not scary, so then they made 7, right? Then people are saying that was too scary, so then they made 8, and then people are saying it's too not scary. Like, bro,
Yeah.
the fans
But I
just
have
need
two
to
things to
cool
say.
off, bro.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why
I mean-
they're making RE4, because like that's gonna be like the perfect like middle area of like action and scariness.
Horror. Yeah. It looks like it's gonna be more horror this time. But I have 2 more things to say.
Uh-huh.
Remember how you guys were talking about like Mia wasn't in the game and stuff?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
I know why. Because there's
Why?
a part in the doll section where like you know how the dolls are Mia
Wait, I'll
And,
be
um,
right back. I
how
gotta
they
go for
rely
just a
on-
sec.
on Rose. Okay, wait. I'm gonna wait for Bagels.
Y'all,
while he-
y'all gotta carry this just for a sec. You guys could keep talking, and yeah, I'll be right back though.
While he's away, I'm just gonna say one thing. Resident Evil 7 has to get a fixed camera, option.
That would be
Mute
Not
my
third
mic
person.
real quick.
Fixed camera.
Yeah, I love fixed camera angles.
Well, I
I've
mean,
played like
yeah.
all the original. Well, I played like the RE1, and I've played like even like I've like you know like in RE5 like you have like the DLC where like it's like the flashback where like Jill gets like killed by Wesker, quote unquote killed. Like there's actually like a secret option to play that with like fixed camera angles, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like
You're talking
I really
about
hope they
Resident
do
Evil
that.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
DLC.
Resident Evil 7, it would fit so perfectly because Capcom was talking about why they won't make a third person, and it's because like the halls are so narrow, and like it would be like right next in. So I was like, why not just make fixed camera? I saw a mod for that, and I thought it looked epic.
Really? They should mod for that? Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think for like again, you know, Resident Evil 7, I doubt Capcom is going to go back and update that game anymore. I mean, unless they release a port in the future, maybe. But like you said, there's people in the community who make mods for things like that. Even
Yeah.
before the third person came out for Village, there was already a mod out for it. So really, I think like
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, or Village, the Winters, it's done. Like Capcom's closing the book and they're moving forward.
Yeah,
Now,
honestly, I think
obviously,
like the last port that RE7's gonna have is that is the cloud version for Switch, and that's pretty much it
Yeah,
for
bro,
that.
it's
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not that good.
Yeah,
yeah,
apparently
it
I've also
sucks. I
heard that
tried
it's
the
pretty
demo; it
laggy.
sucks cash.
Yeah, pretty much Capcom is going to be focusing on Resident Evil 4 from here on out, and then depending on how that goes, well, we'll talk about that later.
yeah.
Yeah, probably they're gonna remake others as well. Maybe a new mainline game. Probably
Yeah,
a
I
spin-off
I
of
actually
Lake.
There's
watched. I recently watched a video from Residents of Evil of them like talking about the possibility of a Code Veronica remake, and they basically said that on an interview like that they were that like some guys were like having with like the I don't know, he's like a big guy in Capcom.
Yeah,
He
I think
was
he's
like
he's a
saying that,
director,
yeah, like
Yeah,
a
probably
director.
producer.
He was saying that
a
if the
producer.
fans ask for
Yeah.
it, then yeah, they might. Like they're right now they're focusing on RE4, but in the near future, if there's enough demand, then yeah, they'll make a Code
sorry, I'll be
Veronica
back in a
remake.
second.
Yeah, I mean, and look at, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Obviously, I feel like because the same people who developed Daymare kind of pushed Capcom in the corner and was like, okay, well, if you're not going to do it, we're going to do it. Well, then, we got Resident Evil 2 Remake. But then, like, as in Resident Evil's videos, then we got 3 and now we're getting 4. So that there's a high possibility that they're going to go all the way up to 6. There's no need for them to remake 7, but they're definitely
Honestly,
are more than likely going to go and do 5 and 6.
honestly, I would really want to see like them remaking 5 and 6, because honestly, I kind of I liked RE4's like on the shoulder camera, but I can't I just don't like how like it feels in RE6 and 5, because like it's just so stiff. So I would like to see like a remake, and I also would really like them to like utilize Wesker, like actually like use them better, because like a big problem with like Resident Evil like as a franchise is that like Capcom just doesn't know how to use their villains or like their characters in general. Because yeah, like Wesker, literally they just kill them off after 5 when and they could have like used them like you literally could be like milked Wesker for like another 5 games. And with like a more recent example, like look at Lady D, they like Capcom like really just like kept her to like her castle because they didn't expect people to love the Lady Dimitrescu so much. So like just a bunch of wasted potential, which
Well, I
makes me
mean,
And on
kind of
this
sad.
topic, I want to say something on this topic, Resident Evil 5 and 6 getting a remake. I mean, I would love to see them getting a remake, and they would be amazing. But there are two things here. Firstly, Resident Evil 6 is a really big game. I mean, let me give you an example. A normal Resident Evil game has around like 30 or 40 soundtracks. But I just
Mhm.
looked up on the internet about, there's a playlist that has all the soundtracks from the games.
mhm.
And Resident Evil 6 has 100, I don't know, 50 soundtracks. This is
Really?
how, yeah, and I was like, what the hell? This is, this Resident Evil 6 is way bigger than other Resident Evil games. And that's why I think it may not be remade, because it's going to be way more expensive than other
Honestly,
remakes.
if they're gonna remake RE6, they should just like completely rework the story so they don't have to like
Yeah,
spend like a bunch
exactly.
of
That's
money
what I'm going to talk
making
about
4
now.
campaigns.
I mean,
Yeah,
Like I
and
wouldn't
exactly.
mind if they rework it to like we have like a main campaign with like I don't know, maybe Leon, and like have Chris
Oh,
and I forgot the guy, the like Chris's partner, and maybe some of
here's
Ada around there, and maybe have like DLC with like Shuri and I forgot his name as well, like
um,
Wesker's son, and
yeah,
like
Jake.
maybe just like kind of like how in Resident Evil 4 you have like I forgot what it's called, like the Ada like extra campaign, just have like
Assignment.
that. Yeah, assignment Ada. So like just have like a tiny campaign for like Ada, like a tinier campaign for like I don't know, for like Sherry and her partner, and then like
Yeah.
have like a kind of bigger campaign or something like that for Chris, but it doesn't have to be like 4 huge campaigns for each character. They should like focus on like 2, and then just like continue from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
one thing to note is like if you look at Resident Evil 2 and 3 with the Reach engine or RE engine, you know, as good as it runs and how beautiful it is, I think there's
Hmm.
also limitations too. Because, you know, and we're going to see this in Resident Evil 4 Remake. I mean, obviously, they're going to trim the game down. And Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 4 was kind of a, you know, lengthy game. I mean, I think on average it took players like 16 hours to beat. But
Took me
like
20
Yeah,
those
yeah,
assets that were
same
in
for
the
me.
game weren't like, you know, as detailed and as realistic as in the RE engine. So I think because of that, like obviously Capcom, it would take them a lot of effort to produce, you know, Resident Evil 6, for example, to have that game in the RE engine, like you said, is going to cost a lot of money because of how big the game is. And, you know, with how detailed the RE engine is, it's not gonna it's gonna take years for something like that to happen. Whereas back in the day, you know, with Resident Evil 6 and 5, they were kind of like reusing those assets and things like that.
That's true.
So, you know, I
Yeah.
just think with as you know, as long as we have the Reach engine, I think Resident Evil games aren't going to be that big, expansive experience that we've, you know, had in the past.
Well, you
Hmm.
can see with Resident Evil 4 Remake, like they're really like stepping it up. Because like if you compare, like from the trailers, if you compare RE4 to like RE Village, or like maybe like even RE2 Remake, like they've really made it look way better. And like honestly, the gameplay looks more smooth, and like everything looks more detailed. So
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like
you
they're
know,
really like stepping up. Like honestly, like I get where you're coming from, but like if they do remake RE6, which will probably be in like I don't know, like a really long time, they might have like the like good enough technology to like actually make it like a
right,
bigger
yeah.
game.
I agree.
But
Yeah,
like
you
if
know,
they
cuz
remade it right now, then it wouldn't happen. It's too
right,
big.
because like where the you know where the RE engine is now is not going to be where it's at 3 years from now. You know, in three
Yeah.
years from now, they're
Yeah.
going to have better technology, and and you know, with that being said, I agree. Resident Evil 6 could be possibly remade. You know, not beat for beat, but have that same amount of content that the original RE6 had. But you know, RE6 is a long way from now. You know, we're probably
Yeah.
talking 6, 7 years maybe.
Yeah.
If we're
Mhm.
Staying
lucky,
on
because
that
like they're
topic,
probably gonna. Yeah,
yeah,
you go,
I
you
wanted
go.
to I wanted
Or a
to talk
remaster.
about RE5 as well. I mean, do you think it has to get a remake or some kind of a reboot?
All right, I'll
You
tell
know?
you what.
Reboot.
So I mean, you know, leaks are leaks or whatever. I mean, they're rumors, but I do remember hearing something about there was a leak saying that mercenary mode was coming to Resident Evil 4 and it was going to have co-op. Now, if this is true and that does happen, then oh yeah, if you know, I can tell you if they announce it that yeah, we're coming out with co-op mercenaries for Resident Evil 4 remake, we're gonna get a Resident Evil 5 remake because that is just laying the ground for Resident Evil 5. And I'll
Yeah,
even add to
exactly.
that note also is that you know we just got the Wesker DLC for Dead by Daylight, so they have a voice actor for Wesker. If
That's
the same
true.
voice actor makes a return in the Resident Evil 4 remake, dude, and we get co-op mercenaries in Resident Evil 4 remake, Resident Evil 5 is coming.
Honestly,
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
if in the Resident Evil 4 remake, if fans really like Wesker, like they really enjoy him, if they do make a Code Veronica remake and they also really like Wesker there, then I'm pretty sure Capcom will immediately go for Resident Evil 5 because they're probably gonna like wanna take advantage of of Wesker, and like since like RE5 is such a just like and like Resident Evil the Wesker game. So
I
yeah.
mean, all right, and look at I got two interesting facts here, and one of them is debatable, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Resident Evil 4 is the only game ever from Capcom to get Game of the Year. And then my
Yeah.
second fact
Yeah.
here is that
Really?
before Resident Evil 2 remake came out and before Resident Evil 7 blew up, pretty much we're talking like after 6 was released, that gap
Yes, like
between when 6 was
2016,
released,
2015.
right, until RE7 came out, right? Resident Evil 5 was Capcom's like
All right,
highest
I'm
gross
back.
sale game.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like behind like Street Fighter, or like another franchise that.
no.
was
Like
11
I'm pretty
million.
sure it was number one. Like
It was number
Resident Evil
one. Yeah.
Wait,
5.
what are
Yeah,
we
Really?
talking about?
was Resident Evil 5 was the top sell game for Capcom for years
Oh,
until
yeah,
RE7
yeah, it was.
and RE2 remake. So I mean, again, like, we're just probably 3 years away or 4 years away, but I'm pretty sure Resident Evil 5's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bagels is back, so I'm gonna explain my two things that I was gonna say about the DLC.
All right. Well.
So, about Mia not being there.
Mhm.
Remember how in Donna's house, the Mega Mycete would rely, or Miranda / Evelyn, not really that they're the same person, just both of them, were relying on Rose's bad memories and using that, like with the dolls and stuff, like
Yeah.
how you had to paint a picture of what happened.
Mhm.
There's a part in that section where you're getting chased by one of those big dolls, the ones where you have to look at before, but now they're just like on the loose trying to kill you.
Yeah.
There's a part where it plays a cutscene of one of them coming up to you, and it says, "You know what happens to bad girls?" And it was the Mia doll. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
Right.
he was an abuser.
Uh,
Oh.
honestly,
That's
I
deep.
could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Jeez.
Hey man, that's deep thoughts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I am working on a video. It's the full backstory of Rose, and at the article I was looking at, it says she was raised by both Mia and Chris. So
No,
so
they get married,
Mia.
did they? No.
No, not like that. Not like that. He wasn't trying
No.
to swoop in after Ethan. No. It wasn't like that.
That's not my boy, Chris.
No. Like separately. Like she was with Chris. Like he would do like make sure her mold powers were all right and stuff. Not
Yeah, she
not
was
in a sus
definitely under
way. No.
surveillance for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause, like, in, like
100%.
in the prologue, wait, in the the scene where like Rose goes to like the graveyard to like pay respect to Ethan, like the
Mhm.
fact that the fact that like Rose, like when she's like when like the like security guy like makes a joke about like her being forgot her name. Yeah,
Evelyn.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The fact
Oh.
that like Rose mentioned Chris made like Ari like confirms that like Chris did have like a significant was a significant part of like Rose's
It also confirms he's not going to die in any soon games, assuming that they don't go with this massive time skip. And that also confirms he's going to live to be about 80 years old, at least, which is cool. I don't want them to kill any of our main characters off, or even send them off.
Ari characters.
Like, I still want Barry to return, and Bro's, like, almost in his 70s. Like,
Soon it's
You
gonna
know
be.
what would be cool?
One person
Wait, no,
said
where
Re-
he got Barry?
oh, wait,
In
that was...
Revelations
Yeah,
2.
after Revelations 2, though. I'm talking about, like, Barry, Natalia, and Moira need to return.
Yeah, we need that RE.
Oh, that was
Barry.
actually one of the topics, actually.
That
But
reach.
before we get into the next topic, I just want to cover about the DLC real quick. I was hoping that they'd give us some information about Ethan just kind of standing there after the after credits scene
Oh yeah.
in RE8.
Yeah.
I was actually really shocked that they did nothing about that. Like, I was actually thinking the DLC would begin with that. Like, and
Yeah, I
they
mean that just goes to show that Capcom just wants to like be done with this.
Like, he
They
was
wanna be
just a
done with that
placeholder.
story.
Like, I was for sure, because I was like, why would they use Ethan? Why would they go through all the struggle to add a head and a face onto him just to put
Honestly,
there?
I think that just like proves that Capcom, especially when it comes to like Resident Evil Village and like its DLC, they're like they really don't want to make any new models. Like I'm pretty sure the like prologue with like Rose and all of that was just added extra, just so like they could like wrap up like Rose's like story and like the Ethan like timeline stuff. And then they decided to make the DLC, but I'm pretty sure that they're like really against just like putting money into like making new assets and stuff
I
like that.
know. Like, K was probably the only, besides the enemies, of course, K was probably the only new character model we got here.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're probably never gonna see him again.
I know.
I mean, one thing
I get why they didn't want to waste any too much money on this DLC
Because they're
like we're
focusing on
never
the
gonna see this
Resident
stuff
4
ever
remake.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, and it just gave something extra to add. You know, it's like, okay, we're, the fans have been waiting a year, so we're gonna give them the third person. You know, we got RE-verse, Mercenaries. I mean, it was a nice package for $20. It wasn't bad.
All right, so
Okay.
the next.
Wait.
Oh, wait. Huh.
Before we continue, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Like that ending sequence, like the one that was the last cutscene for RE8 when they used that for the DLC.
Uh-huh.
I know why they showed that.
Huh.
Because it shows Rose like working for Chris now for the BSAA, right? And like at the beginning of the DLC, she was like totally against it. She didn't want to do it, but after the journey she went through trying to lose her powers, she realized how she could use them for the good, and is now working for the BSAA to stop this from ever happening again.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Very
mean,
good point.
I agree with that. And one thing, I'll say, I mean, obviously, yeah, with that ending, we at least know what Rose was up to up until that point. But, one thing they did not make clear, at least I don't think so, is that I don't think Rose knew Ethan was her dad. Like I don't think she knew that was his name.
Yeah, I don't think
I
she
could
knew
be wrong.
Ethan was his name either.
Because
I
they never
still
say
don't
it
think.
anywhere in the story. Like, it's never mentioned, like, that she knows. And then, until she's like, oh, okay, so you're Ethan, or his name is Ethan, or whatever. And,
She never really found out his name was Ethan. She just called
right
him
until
Dad.
the DLC. Yeah.
Because he's her dad. But she did know some stuff about him. She knew he died saving her life when she was a baby, though.
I just can't remember in the DLC if he tells her, like, oh, I'm Ethan, I'm your dad. I can't remember, but I don't think she knew her dad's name.
Oh yeah, by the
Yeah.
way, Bagels, there's some guy in your chat asking a few questions, so I don't know, you could answer them. They're about RE9. Or, like,
Oh
the
yeah,
first one is.
I answered. Wait, I didn't see the questions. So it says, do you think that RE9 will tie up what happens at the end of RE8 with what happened with the BSAA, and explain why they were making monsters, etc.?
Oh, that's
Question mark.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's
'cause-
actually what I was gonna bring up next. For the next topic, what will
Yeah, that's
which
perfect.
game would that be? Would that be?
Oh wait, I just realized
Huh?
we skipped like a big part of the DLC, the Stalker.
Oh yeah, well, not a big part. He's in like,
Yeah, I
not
mean,
really-
wasn't
Yeah,
even
only
stopped.
it's a
there for, like,
very
brief
tiny
moment.
part of the DLC.
Yeah,
bro was in there
Yeah.
for like
He's
2
not even-
seconds. Like,
really.
How
Yeah,
about-
that was.
I thought he was so cool. He should have been in there longer.
that's like one
It
of
was
the
such a
only
cool
new
design.
models they even made for the game.
Yeah.
And he was in there for like 2
And
seconds.
the boss fight was epic. Best boss fight.
The boss fight was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really easy too, especially.
Yeah,
like, on
it was
normal
very
difficulty.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
found it
and the
very
part
easy.
where you had to find all the different cores, I literally got that in 2 tries. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be hard or whatnot. And maybe if he would have gave you like a minute to do it all, then it'd be slightly harder. I feel like that was their shot at trying to make a RE1 or RE7 style puzzle. But like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't that good.
No, but they did with the snake, the predators hunting down their prey.
Oh yeah, that thing that was good. And the
Yeah, that-
I gotta admit, the thing with the dolls where you have to place them all in different places, I feel like it's just because it's 3 a.m. and I was extremely tired, but that was hard as hell for me to get past. But like, then when I played the game the DLC a second time to try to get familiar with it before I speedrun it, then that was just like easy. I got it on the first try. It's not hard at all. But the first time I played it, that took me a good 30 minutes. Like, I don't know why, but it did.
Oh, all right. Let's get back on track. So what we were saying about RE9, how and if that will tie in with like the whole. Okay, so basically in RE Village, like in the ending, like we realized that Chris was like he separated from the BSSA. No, the
BSAA.
BSAA. Yeah, okay, there we go. And he's now like working with Blue Umbrella, which are different companies.
No.
Well, yeah,
Blue
different.
Umbrella. He
Well,
doesn't work for. He worked with Blue Umbrella and the BSAA
yeah.
at the same time, and now he. But then something happened with Blue Umbrella. I guess, Capcom forgot about them or something. They just don't exist anymore. And he was
What
working with
really?
the
What,
BSAA.
I'm talking about like
You
because I
talking about the
watched.
Hound Wolf Squad? He broke
Well, okay,
him and a
look, because
couple
I'm
of his
talking
squad
about
members.
I watched I forgot who it was. I think it was either Evil Blitz or Crags or like some other YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he
Harp,
was like
harp.
I don't know, because like he was talking about how he was like saying that the BSAA was using bioweapons like bioweapons as like soldiers, and that's who they were sending in RE Village.
Yeah.
Uh, and I just find that kind of interesting because like their whole point of like the BSA was like to like be like an anti like
Bioweapons and
bioweapon stuff.
Chris
Well,
and
I
And
Jill
mean,
and Barry
well,
were co-founders of the BSAA. So I'm
yeah, and Rebecca
thinking
Chambers
maybe,
too.
yeah,
yeah.
Rebecca, Barry, Jill, and Chris. But I was thinking maybe that might be why. Maybe Jill is getting brainwashed again, and then that'll be like the RE9 thing, like how she got
Well,
brainwashed in RE5.
so
Maybe
here's
something
how I
like
think
that.
about it. Like, all right, so the BSAA or the Wolfhound Squad, whatever they're called, with Chris.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think, obviously, you know, the BSA HQ and all that stuff. That's over in Europe. I think the Chris hasn't been there probably for years because obviously he even says it took them 2 or 3 years to end this whole thing with the mode and all that stuff. So I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he hasn't been around. And secondly, I'm pretty sure like the BSAA is like to, defend the world against bioterrorism attacks, right? Well, obviously, like if you're losing all these bodies and stuff and you have the capability and the, resources to clone people or to make, modified soldiers, why not just send them out there to, destroy other bioweapons? Why send, your own people when you can just do that instead?
Yeah.
Mm,
And then
Yeah.
I
You want to
mean,
hear my theory?
uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. My theory was that probably somehow Whisker survived that volcano and somehow went all, these all years have passed and he's been kind of, how do you say, repairing himself, kind of preparing himself for another fight with Chris. And he kind of takes control of the BSAA. I don't know how, but
the connections.
yeah, yeah, probably. Why not? That's a possibility.
yeah.
And I would say that probably in RE9 we're gonna be seeing another type of encounter between the original characters and Wesker, just like
Yeah.
RE5.
I would
Mm-hmm.
really like that to be the case, because that's
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, it would
'cause
be
that's
it
what I'm
would be
saying. Like
epic.
if like Wesker such as says in RE4 and in Code Veronica remakes, then they should really bring back Wesker, like write him into the story.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely Resident Evil's best villain is Wesker. And if you
Yeah.
look back on multiple games, the villains that they have, they're like one and done. They're there for the game and that's it. The only two villains, maybe three villains that's actually gone from one title to the next would be like Wesker, Evelyn, I guess you can say, and that's pretty much it. That's the only one I
Yeah.
can really think of.
Yeah, yeah, right.
yeah. Well, I was thinking, wait, if Miranda helped Spencer with the stuff and inspired him to create Umbrella, wouldn't Spencer have a conscience in the Mega My Seat? Like
No,
they
because
should.
he didn't die. Remember, you have to die near it. You have to
Oh,
die
you
like in
have
that
to die
same
near
area.
it. Oh
Yeah.
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 Oh, I thought it was just anybody who had any interaction with it at all.
No, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's if you die near it. And
No,
the
no,
only
no.
reason I'll argue that Evelyn is there is because Ethan, because he bonded so well with the mold, and she was, with the mold and stuff. That would be my theory as to why she was even there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but because I think you know how Miranda was making all these clones, she'd still need like a version of their body or some sort of matter that represents them in the Mega My Seat to do that. And I think that if they somehow interacted with the Mega Mycete, it like registered them as like a part of it, like
Hmm.
their body and stuff. But if you die like in it or like very near it, then your conscience will go into that. But if not, then it'll still be saved in the Mega Mycete's memory.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
could
is
be
a
it.
very good point. But also, what I was gonna say. So Wesker being still alive. That is
Mhm.
actually a very good point that a Raccoon City survivor brought up. I saw his video on that, and then that would actually make a lot of sense about like where Jill is, because maybe after RE5, right? Like in between 5 and 7, because I was talking about earlier how where was she when Chris got amnesia and all that. Maybe
Mhm.
Wesker survived from RE5 and was able to get a hold of Jill once more after um between 5 and 6, and has just been teaching her to be even stronger than she was in RE5 between 5 and 7. And now during RE8 he had Jill convince the BSAA, like he had Jill pretend like she wasn't mind controlled by him, right? And then convince the
Mm-hmm.
BSAA to start using bioweapon soldiers.
Yeah, I
I
see
mean,
that.
I think for that, I don't. I mean, that's a bit out there. I think
Yeah, I agree.
I think really like it really boils down to this. Like, Chris wasn't at the BSAA, obviously, so he wasn't there monitoring it. We don't know where Rebecca is, or she's in some laboratory doing something, but we don't know where Jill is, okay? So
And
here's the thing, like the BSAA is funded somehow, okay? It's not like you have these rich people coming together and saying, okay,
No,
we're gonna
it's
defend the
funded by
world.
the U.S. government. Like the BSAA is like it's like linked in like right into like the
Okay,
U.S.
all right. Well,
government.
then you go to like Resident Evil 6 with Simmons. There's corruption in the U.S. government. And we're,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Resident Evil universe here. But
mm-hmm.
anyways, so there's corruption in the U.S. government. So
Are
if
you
there's
sure about that?
corruption there, then there's a chance that who's not to say that the BSAA has not been infiltrated by the organization or the connections. You know,
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
that they because think about it, we have not seen anything with the connections. We don't know any of the members, anything with the organization, or nothing like that. So in Resident Evil 9, you have the organization or the connections infiltrate the BSAA. They start doing all this stuff, and then you have Chris coming there to correct it. And who knows? They're gonna bring Jill Valentine along with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause like the guy I was talking about, like the video like that I'm talking about is from Hey Deva. You know him.
Yeah, hey
Oh yeah,
Devlin.
Yeah,
yeah.
he made like this really long video about it, and also I watched like another video from Center of Evil that talked about RE9, how it could be about like the fall of the BSAA, like the same thing that Hate Dev was talking about. So yeah, you guys should really watch those videos because like it's like really interesting how all of this like is turning out.
Yeah.
Now, for the next topic, let's do. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts about Zoe and Joe
Uh,
Baker returning?
no way.
Yeah, I don't
Get
think
out
it's
of
gonna
here.
happen.
Oh,
Honestly, those guys are dead in the water. Literally after
My qu-
after we got the DLC for like end of Zoe, that's the end of her character.
yeah,
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 but
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a part right now where Resident Evil, like Capcom, they have to either, for Resident Evil 9 or Rev 3, they need to either go back to like the legacy characters, or they're just gonna have to come up with, new
Yeah.
characters.
hmm
Yeah, it's kind of
my
always gonna go with the
question,
legacy characters.
my only contradiction to that is why would they make up an entire other character who didn't exist otherwise, that being Joe? And then if they had no problem killing Ethan, why would they not just kill Zoe off as well? Like they obviously
Uh,
don't care about the all the RE7 characters. Why would they invent an entire other character, bring him into the
they probably
story,
just did that for the DLC for
No, but
like
I feel
and
like
to be
then
like more
keep Zoe
simple.
alive
Yeah, I
I
mean,
feel
as
like
well?
Joe was just for like an action, like fun, like you're punching, molded.
right, and then again,
Yeah.
it's them being able to experience or experiment with the Reach engine and see, okay, well, what can we do next? I mean, look,
Exactly.
they release, End of Zoe, and now you have Street Fighter RE6 and the RE engine.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good point, actually.
That
Yeah,
is a
it's
good
true.
point.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
it's
yeah,
just experimenting for like combat and stuff.
right, like the Reach engine initially was only designed for like the Resident Evil 7 game, and then they had to branch out and do other things. So yeah, with those extra DLCs, even when you're sitting there playing 21 poker, like that was just them experimenting and seeing what all they could can do and perform with the Reach engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you,
Um,
Reach engine has been in this RE engine has been improving ever since it was released. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it has,
if you play
especially with the hair, like in
Yeah,
Resident
and
Evil
the
7,
faces
like Mia's
too.
hair and stuff.
exactly, and also the performance. I don't know if you have noticed it or not, but I've been playing RE7 recently on my laptop, and gotta say, it's not a powerhouse or something, but it runs. And RE2 runs way smoother than RE7 on this laptop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah,
It's
honestly, I
like
think like the next gen update they made was just like smoothing out everything with like the
yeah,
old
yeah,
games.
exactly.
And then look at Resident Evil 3. I mean, look how fluent and how like fast paced Resident Evil 3 is. Like that game is just pumping all the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They
like,
perform
it
purely
was
smooth.
it was a great game. Just what they did to Resident Evil 3 though, they butchered it so bad, but it was good though. All right. Now
It was
next
okay.
topic, Resident Evil 4 remake in VR. Let's talk about
Oh.
that. That's one that
I mean,
Raccoon
it's
City
gonna
Survival
be
put up.
if you all have played the Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus, I haven't myself, but
I
if you've played that and you enjoyed that, I mean, the PlayStation VR 2 is probably going to be a little bit more advanced than the Oculus was.
Yeah.
I'm not, bro.
And
I'm
plus,
not
you're going
buying
to
For
get
that.
the
for the
updated Resident Evil
huge
4
price point
remake.
of
It's literally
$600.
$550.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
euro.
that's the price you got to play. That's the price you got to
Bro,
pay if you
yeah.
want to
stop.
play.
Get out of here. No way.
I mean,
I've
Honestly,
never
honestly,
really-
I would
I
get
mean,
it. I would
Look
get
at the
it in
quality
like
of
the mid.
PSVR 2. I mean, you have seen the trailer, the announcement trailer of Resident Evil Village VR, how high quality it is compared
And
to
Yeah, it
like
did look
right,
good.
and not even that. Look at if you go and look at the specs, bro. If you go and look at the specs, you're gonna be getting 2K in each eyeball, and the refreshing rate or the refresh rate is like 90 hertz and 120 hertz. My TV that I play this games on is only 60, so it's like,
That's
bro.
Dang, the
Yeah,
specs.
it's
So, I
worth
mean,
the
bro.
price.
It is probably gonna be worth the price, but I've never been a VR guy and probably will never be one. But what I was more talking about is how they said content also in development for VR. They never
Yeah,
said the
exactly.
main campaign or any of the other stuff will be in VR.
Yeah, that is true. I
Maybe
mean, who knows?
only
We-
the
we may get a-
mercenaries will be in VR. or
I was
Right.
thinking maybe if instead of it just being the whole game, it's like the backstory with Leon and Krauser in VR.
I mean, I feel like if they're gonna do something like that, they would probably take like the Horizon Dawn route, or whatever that game is called. You know how they have Call of the Mountain, the bundle you can get with the VR. I feel like
Yeah.
if they were gonna go that route, they probably would release like an additional game for like $30 or $40. You know?
Yeah.
But like, is it just gonna be mercenaries? Maybe mercenaries in separate ways, or maybe they're
Something-
gonna have multiple campaigns, and maybe Leon's campaign will be the only one that has VR capabilities.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the whole
it all
game is gonna
depends.
be able to, I think that the whole game is gonna be VR capable.
It should be.
Yeah, 'cause, I
should
mean,
be.
look, Villages.
freak
I mean, I
out.
don't see why Resident Evil 4 Remake couldn't either.
Yeah, and
Yeah, if
maybe
you take a closer look, our village is just speaking of experiments previously, is an experiment for Resident Evil 4. So if I'm guessing if they do anything in Resident Evil Village, they're probably gonna expand it upon and do it the same in Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Right, and take whatever they learned from Village and then improve upon it on Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Exactly.
All right, and now next up is going to be, will Resident Evil 5 get a remake before we
But we
see
already talked
Resident
about
Evil
that.
9?
Yeah.
Before we see Resident Evil 9 or Revelations 3? Which one will happen
Obviously,
first?
we're getting
That's a
Resident Evil
tough
9
one.
as the next game. As
So,
the next
I don't
game
know.
after.
I don't know. I feel
RE4.
like we are definitely entitled to a Revelations 3. We need a Revelations 3. We need to,
Yeah.
because the thing about the Revelations series is that they can introduce any character they can introduce. Rebecca Chambers is like a famous one that everyone's talking about. I mean, they can freaking introduce Zoe or whoever the guy's name is, her uncle that saved her. I mean, even
Joe.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, the Revelations needs to be next. Let's just take a break from the main titles and the remakes and give us something kind of new and different, and that's Revelations 3.
I'm thinking so every Revelations game so far has had a red field in it. If you don't know, or an original character from the first game. So I think Revelations 3 should star Rebecca, because each Revelations game so far has had a character
Yeah, I
from
agree.
RE1. So
Yeah.
Rev 3 should definitely star Rebecca. And then
Mm-hmm.
there were a while back there were some leaks about Resident Evil game with Rebecca as a main character and then Leon as a second character. I
Yeah, it was
personally
supposed to come
think
to Switch.
I personally think that would be amazing to see, especially because the two only met during Vendetta, and it'd be pretty cool to
That's
see
true.
them once again side by side, like
Yeah.
for the first time in a video game.
Mhm.
Yeah, and talking about Vendetta, that's actually like the first time, because like Leon, like Leon and Claire, they're kind of like as isolated from like the original characters. Like, well, you got like
Yeah, right.
Claire with like Revelations 2, like she met Barry, but like with Leon, like his only interactions with like the legacy characters is like Chris with like RE6 and Vendetta,
And Code Veronica.
with yeah,
Yeah, but Barry's never coming back. Never.
I mean,
He's either
I'll tell you
killed
one
himself or he's
character.
100 years old.
he might come back in the near future, but like not in.
They need to keep Barry as a character because he's my second favorite character. And also, I'm trying to think of a reason why they should bring him back.
I mean,
Because he's one of the best characters. I don't know.
he
Well, at this
accidentally killed his
point, I
daughter,
feel
so he
like
probably
if-
like killed himself. or
His
something.
daughters
If-
definitely need to come back though. Moira and Natalia have
Bro,
way
he
too much.
died.
Right,
Moira
exactly, and that can be Rev 3. Like they have like there's so many like stories they can have for Revelations 3.
I
But
know.
one thing I will say is that like and they can even bring back Billy Cohen. There's so many
Yeah.
characters that they can bring,
Oh,
and that's the
yeah.
beauty about like the Revelation series is that like
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
it's a mini spin-off, but it's canon, but it's kind of has like its own appeal to it because it's not Revelations 3, they don't need to like give and deliver this high standard video game. I mean, I'm not expecting high quality with Revelations, but I am expecting to see some characters we haven't seen before or we haven't seen in a long time.
I have an idea.
Huh.
What do you think
instead of
about a
making it-
hunk?
Hunk,
Yeah, and then even
definitely.
Hunk
That would
too.
be cool.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm thinking instead of a Revelations 3, how about they just turn Ghost Survivors into a full game with a lot of famous characters that have died, but what if they didn't die? It's like, what if?
I guess if they're
So
gonna
what
develop
if
a game like
Resident
that, they'll probably remake Outbreak.
Oh yeah, they have to
Mhm.
remake Outbreak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
would be
Like the
pretty
next
cool.
multiplayer.
yeah, I can definitely like if they do remake Code Veronica X because that one is obviously dependent on the fans.
Yeah.
Code Veronica would be. So if they did do that, obviously I think the next title would be Outbreak. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, really, like Capcom is trying to make these games that are multiplayer. Resistance had its appeal. Verse is okay, but the rank system is broken. So I mean,
Reverse
if they-
is amazing.
yeah, it's
No, it's
fun. It's a great
fun.
time, but like the rank system is trash. But
Yeah.
like
yeah.
other than that, if Capcom really wanted to make like the perfect Resident Evil multiplayer game, then just bring back Outbreak and not look back. I mean, Outbreak could be
Facts,
the new
man,
GTA
facts.
5. Could be
Exactly.
the new GTA 5 that's on servers for like 10 years. That could be Outbreak if
Yeah.
Capcom.
Yeah, it would be pretty
just
cool.
let it happen
Outbreak
already.
remake would actually
And also
be
like having
amazing.
like some like cool like literally I like the idea of Outbreak, but I think it was too like they made it too early because like they could really remake Outbreak and like make it really cool because like it's actually a Resident Evil game but with your friends anywhere at, like whenever you want, and that would be really
Yeah, that's
cool.
the whole
but,
point
like,
of Outbreak. It was released too early.
I know, yeah, because like
I
with the
mean-
PS3, like it was like the PS3 PSN network thing was like just, like too underdeveloped.
And then if you think about this, like with Outbreak, for me personally, I don't even need it to be remade in the RE engine. You can just do a remaster, upgrade the graphics, and I'm fine. You
Yeah.
have fans in the community who want a Resident Evil multiplayer that everyone can play and that's gonna thrive and do well. So that's Outbreak. And then you have, people in the community who want to have that fixed camera angle. Okay, so you just take Outbreak, remaster it, and put it on the platforms, and there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Perfect.
But now I think about it, if we already have a reverse, why would they make another online Resident Evil game?
Well, I mean, it's obvious. Like RE-verse, like I mean, their posts have been out there. Like the game is already dying. So we'll have to
Yeah.
see after it makes it to like its third update, which is because they released that roadmap for it. So once that
Yep.
third one is released, we're gonna have to see how the game is doing. Then I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
But if the
unfortunately
game
it's gonna
honestly the
fail.
game dies after like when the roadmap ends, I honestly think Capcom will just give up on like trying to make like a Resident Evil online game.
Well, I mean, if this game fails, that's gonna tell Capcom, okay, it's time to bring back Outbreak. And if they don't bring out
Yeah.
Outbreak, then I mean, just stop trying multiplayer games, And if you're gonna do
Exactly.
multiplayer, all right, if you're gonna do multiplayer, let's do it with Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil
Yeah.
5, bring in, co-op story mode, bring in your co-op mercenaries, bring in, they had the Resident Evil 5 versus at one time. I think that might have been it, but they can bring
Yeah.
those modes in on Resident Evil 5. And again,
Yeah.
going back to if Resident Evil 4 Remake is going to have mercenaries later on, or whatever the case may be, and it has co-op, then I mean, you don't need to have a freaking multiplayer game that's like irrelevant.
Yeah.
And for RE verse, I don't know about y'all, but I really want them to add, like, remember Predator mode from Resident Evil 6? Bro,
Yeah.
if they add something like that to RE verse in an update, that could definitely help save the game. Like,
Well, I think if they did that, they would definitely have to release larger maps because I mean the maps are very small, and if you have 5 or 6 players going up against one, boss, or 5 players going up against one boss, I mean the boss could easily wipe out everyone because that's how small the maps are.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if you saw in the trailer, right, I think it's at the Resident Evil showcase. The village from Resident Evil Village is gonna be a map in RE
Oh
verse.
yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah,
that
all the
was
they
Hell
have
Wolf Squad characters.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
the
So they're
Howl.
Yeah.
definitely they may actually be doing that. I can see them doing that because they had all 4 of the Hound members like side by side, like they were like fighting off hordes.
Yeah,
I think
like
we're gonna
they're
get like a
fighting
Call of
against
Duty
something.
Zombies type mode
That would be
for
really cool.
If they
Verse.
did that, that would be amazing. Call of Duty Zombies is fire.
Yeah, so
But
if
if
they
there's
did something
something
like
like
that,
that
that
in
would be the
Resident
right
Evil.
step in the right direction.
All right, guys. I gotta go.
All
But
right.
yeah, it was really fun to do this, and hopefully we'll all do this another time again. People that are watching, remember me. I'm Evil Bacon. I also do Resident Evil content, so definitely go check me there if you're interested. And
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
Peace out, Bacon.
Yeah.
Thank you
Alright,
very
Bye,
much for
Bacon.
joining us.
Yeah,
Bye,
take care.
everybody.
Take care,
Everybody,
everybody.
please check out Evil Bacon after you're done watching the stream. Thank you very much.
Gracias. All right, see you later. Bye.
See ya.
man.
Bye.
Right. Bye.
All
Well,
right.
this is
So,
unfortunate timing, but I was also about to tell you guys that it's getting kind of late for me. I wish I could stay longer, but I have school tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to go.
all
'Cause
right.
it's kind of late for me. It
All
was
right.
fun doing this with you guys. Like, honestly, we should do another like one of these if we get like a bunch of new leaks or a bunch of new information. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
joining
that'd be
us.
fun.
Everybody go check out Mr. Kennedy. He hasn't made any content yet, but I think he's planning to in the future. So very much go check him
Yeah.
out.
So
If you're
yeah,
watching
please
this as a
check me out.
VOD, the link will be in the description. If you're not, then look him up. You could probably find him there. And yeah, thank you very much, Mr.
All
Kennedy.
right, bye
and,
guys.
peace out.
Good
All right,
night.
thanks, man.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. All right, so the next topic is going to be.
But something, Biggles, before going any further.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Resident Evil 5 getting a remake, I think, back in honestly, I did not know about Resident Evil 5 back in the days because I was not into internet back in the days. And nowadays, I see that people say that it had a lot of controversies, and that's why they added Shiva. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Do you think because of that reason, is it gonna be remade directly or rebooted and take the whole Resident Evil 5 into another country? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like they're saying, yeah, the controversies about it
For
like taking
me,
place in
I'm not
Africa
gonna
and
lie.
stuff.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly wouldn't mind if they went back to like their original plans. Okay, like I don't think it should be an issue. And obviously, I mean, I understand why there was an issue, but it's 2022 now, so I mean, it shouldn't be an issue, and it would bring a horror element to Resident Evil 5 that we've never experienced before. But with that being said, I also believe that they should bring back co-op just because it's co-op. It doesn't necessarily have to be Sheva, it can be anybody, but um again, I honestly wouldn't mind if they brought that back. Even if they brought it back for like the first 10 minutes of the game, like the first segment where you have to fight off the village, like doing that alone would be like very, very
Yeah, man.
intense.
Co-op is really fun. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
played the hell out of the game. I mean, the mercenaries,
They
the
really
other.
need to add mercenaries to RE4 or like a new story co-op mode, like for a game where you could play
Oh,
Yeah, man.
co-op in the
yeah,
story.
no, I,
They
I agree.
for
Resident Evil
sure.
5 is a great time. Resident Evil 5 is my favorite Resident Evil game. I mean, I know it's like heavy with action and stuff, but I mean, it had so many good things going with it. I mean, you saw Wesker dodge bullets, bro. Like, what
Yeah.
Resident Evil 5 was like awesome. The soundtrack is awesome. It has a great soundtrack. It brought in co-op. You got to fight Wesker. I mean, it was just a great time. I love
And
Resident
it
Evil
still
5s.
holds up, actually. The gameplay is really solid and smooth. I just played it a couple hours ago, and I was shocked, man. I was like, wow, this game was released back in 2009, and it still is high quality. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a
Yeah.
great game,
It
yeah.
holds
And like,
up
and if
for
you go
real.
on there, there's still people on there playing mercenaries. Like occasionally, I'll get on and play a few rounds of mercenaries, and I love the
Mm.
combat system in Resident Evil 5. I love shooting someone in the head, stunning them, going up, doing a melee attack, and then while I'm doing all that, I'm reloading my gun because if you do the melee attack, you can go into your menu, click on your ammo, and then reload your
Yeah,
gun
yeah.
while you're doing
Oh
that. So like,
yeah.
that's just like the beauty and like how awesome Resident Evil 5 is.
Yeah, that's the
I
gameplay loop
love the
that
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 4 and 5 have. I mean, like in Resident Evil 4, you shoot in the knee or the head, and you go perform a roundhouse kick, and then knife them and pick up the item, right? And in
Um
5, it's the same scenario, but somehow in
Yeah,
much
but
bigger
they
scale
like
somehow.
they improved on it how like while you're doing that roundhouse kick, you can also be reloading your weapon. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
So I'm like they improved upon it. And even like with Wesker, you can do his dash and run across the map and then knee someone in the face. So it's like
yeah,
Resident Evil
yeah.
5 was awesome, bro, and it deserves to be the top seller that it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. It
It
might not be
definitely
the
deserves
most
that.
accurate Resident Evil, but damn, it's fun to play.
It's very fun. Personally, my favorite versus mode in any Resident Evil game, including like RE Verse and Umbrella Corps and stuff like that, definitely has to be versus in RE6. Like, I'll get on my PS4 and just play that, and it is so fun. Like how you can find the rocket launchers and like stuff like that, like the magnums all around the map.
Yeah, and see, like,
Like,
and going back to like how Capcom is always improving and stuff. Like in Resident Evil 5, they introduced that verse. Like that's where it started, and then like it was kind of like it wasn't as smooth as it was in Resident Evil 6, but that's because in Resident Evil 5 was like them testing the waters. So then here came Resident Evil 6, and they like kind of perfected it.
Yeah, right. And just imagine all the Resident Evil games having one type of layout. I mean, with this line of Resident Evil games, like 1 to 3 are well, like pre-rendered, but since 4 to 6, there's so much like inconsistency. RE4 is like the graphics, the graphics how it looks,
yeah,
and then RE5 it kind of changes. Then RE6 the gameplay kind of changes. There
Mhm.
is always some inconsistency in it, but in this, I mean, ever since Resident Evil 7, there has been some sort of consistency in the games, especially with 2 and 3 and 4 remakes. And imagine they apply it to RE5 and 6. That would be great. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, like,
how
and
it
yeah,
would.
if you look at the art direction from like 4, I mean 4 was kind of it was like lit, but now in the remake it has like that blue atmosphere, that dark blue atmosphere, or whatever. But then you look
Yeah.
at like Resident Evil 6, it's like that dark blue atmosphere. It's like more dark and gritty, whatever. But Resident Evil 5, like the sun was out. It was was a sunny day, you had nighttime,
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
daytime, like it was
It was
all over the place.
90%. It was 90% done in the day in Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, and that just like adds to, and then it was in Africa, so it's like I mean you have like Resident Evil 5 was just so rich with like content and like just it was just great. It was a great experience,
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next topic: thoughts on Resident Evil 4 remake character design.
Oh
Like,
yeah, okay. So I just wanted like on record say like the new design for Lewis reminds me of Irving from Resident Evil 5. I don't know what it is about him, but like he just gives me that vibe.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
He
Because
gives
of
me that
facial
vibe.
impressions. It's because of the facial impressions, most probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when you see
yeah.
his face, when he's like, "Oh, you're looking for some Centurita," and he's like backing up, and his mouth is all open and stuff like that. I was like, "Bro, that's like straight Irving vibes."
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So personally, I think Leon and Ashley and Ada look amazing. All right. Like their character design is perfect. But when I put that on the list, I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about like Lewis, Salazar, Ganados, etc. Like,
Well, I mean, even like I agree with you for like Ashley and for Leon. Like that's kind of spot on and kind of not hard to mess up, but like I am a little disappointed with Ada Wong because if you you know, and this is kind of like, you know, being picky or whatever, but like her face is a little bit too round for me, okay? If you look at Resident Evil, if you look at the original Resident Evil 4 Ada Wong, her face is like more slimmed down and narrow. And then even if you look at the Resident Evil 2 remake Ada Wong, it's still not as round and like, you know, arguably the best reimagining of Ada has been in Resident Evil 2 remake because the new one, I'm a bit iffy about it. They changed the voice actor and they changed like the character model, and it's just I don't know how I feel about it. She seems like a little bit bitchy, honestly, and I don't know how their relationship is gonna be with Leon and Ada, but I don't think it's gonna be that mysterious kind of relationship that they've had in previous games or whatever. I think she's gonna be a little bit more aggressive this time around. And one thing I
Yeah,
will point out, you know, in the trailer, it looks like this time around, their first encounter is going to include Ashley. She's going to be in the mix, and it's not going to be in that iconic room that is right outside, or that's, you know, right from the maze, which is a
yeah.
bit of a letdown. You're not going to get that slow motion action sequence. It's going to be everything's like toned down, and which we all know this is going to happen because Resident Evil 4 Remake is going to be a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And talking about Ada, let me tell you that I was expecting this layout of face, this type of face. I mean, she's after all Ada. I mean, ever since Resident Evil 6 all the way to RE4 Remake, she has been just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and about the voice actor, I agree with you. I agree with you totally, because she sounds a bit older and much more mature than the original Resident Evil 4. You know, in RE4,
Right.
sh in the original, she was like kind of
Playful.
yeah, playful. That's the word. But here, as you say, she sounds kind of aggressive. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Can
it's going to
stop
be interesting to
right
see, you
there.
know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know how it's gonna be. Like I made a video and I was saying how they should have a more emotional content, like Ada, damn Ada, I haven't seen you, like, you know, where you've been, like shed a tear or something. But no, like she is coming out the gate, the first few words, just like a straight aggression. So I mean,
I feel
I
like
don't know
it's,
how to feel about it.
but like, and Leon seems to not be surprised that she's still alive after literally watching her die 6 years
At
ago.
least I hope there is a reason for
Like,
that,
what?
because it was not
Oh
explained in
yeah,
the original.
right. It's not explaining the original, and like, you know, everyone is shocked. All the players, you know, I said this in the video, of course, but everyone was shocked when Ada appeared, right? But Leon didn't seem so shocked. So I'm guessing he received some type of intel, you know, before he went to Europe or whenever it could have been a year before that he knew Ada was still alive. I mean, you get that. He's just like, "Oh, Ada?" Like he's not shocked at all. So I was hoping in this remake, you know, we'll get that like shock, like, oh, like where have you been or anything like that. So we'll have to see, but
Mm-hmm.
he definitely knew Ada was alive. That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Either that is the scenario, or it was, the cutting and editing magic, let's say. Because
Right,
I don't
right.
think that that is gonna be the first encounter, and I personally do not think that Ashley is gonna be in that encounter as well. When
I
she
hope
says
not.
leave the girl, yeah, yeah. When she
Right.
says leave the girl, I do not think that Ashley is present in that room.
Yeah, neither do I. Because, like, why'd she say that, like, right when Ashley's there? I feel like
Right,
that
man,
encounter
exactly.
probably takes place after Ashley gets picked away, like, picked up by the Novistadors and carried away.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even still, like, I don't feel like their first encounter is going to have that same spark as the original. And of course, that again goes back to what I was saying earlier with the RE engine is that there may be some limitations. Like, there may be a massive effort needed for them to create a cutscene with Ada doing like slow motion and like the kicks and stuff like that from Resident Evil 4. And I think that's why it's not going to be, the remake isn't going to have that same charm as the original Resident Evil 4. And of course, that's the case because you're never going to be able to replicate something like that.
Hmm.
That might be the case. I don't know.
But
But
back on the
it definitely
topic of.
seems darker, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
definitely.
definitely seems darker.
And back on the topic of character design, like, why did they decide to go with that for Lewis? Like, he really.
I mean,
Like,
his outfit and shit looks good. I
yeah, it's
rock with the
just
outfit.
his face, though. Even his
Yeah,
hair.
his
His hair
face
is
and his
spot on,
voice,
but.
like his face and his voice for me, is just like doesn't give me friendly vibes. It makes me feel like we have a Resident Evil Gambit, and it makes me feel like this dude is gonna like steal my money, stab me in the back. Like I don't get good vibes from him. He seems very like sneaky, like mischievous. It's crazy how the kind of vibe he gives off.
Yeah, like the original Lewis, you could tell in his voice he's a cool dude, right? Like he was a loyal friend. He literally died saving Leon's life, right? And
Yeah,
he
like
helped him with that.
he's the reason why. I mean, like, all right. So one thing I was saying in my video that I just posted is like, with Lewis, he needs to maintain that researcher biologist, okay? Because by him being that, that's another contribution to the Resident Evil 4 story, right? Because like, think about it. One, he keeps Ada and not Ada, but he keeps Leon and Ashley alive with the repression medicine, the medicine that slows down Las Plagas from hatching in their bodies and stuff, right? He gives them that. And that's because he's a biologist and that's how he had access to the medicine. Obviously, he probably developed the medicine. And then another thing is that he is the connection for Ada Wong to be in Spain because, he's the one that was going to give Ada Wong the sample of Las Plagas. So in the remake, he has to be a research biologist. But when I look at this guy in the trailer, I do not see a research biologist.
Yeah, like in the trailer, he looks like a drug dealer or something. He does not.
Right.
He doesn't look like a researcher or like any guy you would like want to be your friend. He looks like some dude you'd want to stay away from as much as you can. Like,
Right, and someone commented
bro.
about the ballistics, like, bro, like, I mean, we
Yeah,
might
like
get that same Lewis. I'm not gonna lie, we'll probably get the hardcore, true ladies man Lewis in the remake, but I mean, I don't know. This is gonna be a good time. But now, going away from Lewis and like going into
Salazar.
Salazar,
Oh,
yeah, Salazar,
oh
dude,
no, man.
he, I don't
Especially
like the
he's only
change.
supposed to be 20 years old or 21.
Well, right.
Like,
Well, the one thing
whoa.
is like I don't like the change. I wish they would have kept him younger, because that would have him being young would have made perfect sense for him to be like being a smart ass with Leon because that was the thing between their relationship, right? In the castle and everything was like their smart remarks to each other and stuff like that. Well, this guy, he does look terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. Like he looks scary.
Yeah,
The makeup and
he
shit
he's
is very
scary. Yeah.
scary. Yeah, that looks scary, but I don't think he's gonna be playful with Leon. He's not gonna be playful. I don't think so.
Uh, mm, I kind of like the change, even though I really love the original Salazar. But still, talking about being playful, there is a screenshot that shows the double Verdugos in the behind and Salazar in the front. I'm
Mm,
pretty sure you all seen that. And if you
Hmm.
look at his face, he's still kind of looking playful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about when he's smirking at him?
He looks
Yeah,
like an
yeah,
old
exactly.
woman though. Like in the original, when he said that he's only 20
Yeah.
years old, you're like, all right, maybe that's just his natural hair color is gray. But here, like, if they keep that line in the game, and he's like, I'm only 20 years old, then you're just gonna be like, sure, you are.
I mean, if he's
Like,
playful, then that's great. That would be like, that'd be good for me. I'll be fine with that. But obviously, it just kind of sucks looking back because it's like, wow, we kind of know going forward that we're not going to get that same charm with Salazar like we did in the original. And that's going to be the case for a lot of things. But it's just kind of hard not to sit back and think, like, wow, like how awesome that Salazar was.
But you gotta
yeah,
agree this. It is the new tradition in Resident Evil in the new recent games, let's say. In RE2, 3, and now 4, some side characters are going to change, especially in Resident Evil 3, like Carlos.
Oh,
Change,
yeah.
everybody liked it, right?
Hmm.
yeah,
And even though I love the original Carlos and the one in Operation Raccoon City and the other games, but still, I think here in Resident Evil 4 Remake, there are a lot of characters. Well, so far we've seen Luis, Salazar, and I'm guessing, even though they haven't shown yet, and I don't think they will, but probably Krauser's face is going to change a bit as well.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, but I don't think that they're gonna change the hair color though. He's still gonna be blonde.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm hoping really like if they show more from Krauser this time around. I mean, we got a decent bit in the last bit, the last original, but I'm really hoping that Krauser is just a straight brute, especially if like what they were saying about the opening dialogue, how he has flashbacks of Krauser training Leon. I hope when they
Wow.
meet each other in Resident Evil 4 Remake, Krauser's like, dude, I made you who you are, and I will wipe the
Yeah.
floor with you. I really hope
yeah,
it's like that.
It kind of reminds me of Batman, the third Dark Knight movie from the trilogy, where
Yeah, like
Bane just
Bane or whatever.
smashes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I want to see like Krause be like, dude, I will slap you around so bad, and like Leon, I want to see Leon cautious, bro. I want to see Leon know, like, yo, like Krauser's no joke. He's got, Los Plagas in him now. He's got his razor blade and stuff like that. So I really want to see Krauser like punk Leon down because in the
And
original,
also, yeah, he's way tougher than Leon in the original physically.
right, and then
yeah,
like in the original, Leon's like kind of like toe to toe with him, and I get that, that's cool and stuff, but no, bro, I want to see Krauser at least their first encounter. I want to see Krauser punk down Leon.
I
Maybe
know.
more than
Like
just a slash on the face, right?
Right.
in the knife fight, I think it was a Raccoon City survivor was talking about like how Leon has all the new skills with his knife. That the knife
Yeah.
fight won't just be like a quick time event cutscene. It'll be like fully playable. Like there will still be quick time events. Well, now getting into my own opinion, I think there will still be quick time events. But like, remember in the trailer it showed Doctor Salvador swinging at him, and then there was a quick
Hmm.
time event to block with your knife, right? I think
Hmm.
it'll be
Yeah.
something like that for the Krauser boss fight
Well, I
or
mean,
knife
Yeah,
fight.
probably.
that would be. Oh, I mean, that'd be cool, but a bit repetitive. Like, if you think about it, if it's gonna be a knife fight, like, honestly, I don't see them saying, okay, like, we get to the area, the platform, or whatever. I honestly don't see them saying, okay, you don't have access to your gun. All you have is a knife. Go fight that dude over there who trained you how to be the badass you are now. I don't think they're gonna do that. I mean, they
Yeah,
might,
exactly.
but I don't see that happening because I mean, when people are saying like, oh, there's gonna be a knife fight, like you're not gonna watch it, or it's not gonna be a quick time event, it's gonna be like a live fight. I mean, you gotta understand, dude. Like Krauser is a badass. He's super strong and he's infected, so that makes him even more strong. For everyone to think that Leon is gonna go toe to toe with that man with just a knife, I mean, yeah, he did it in the original, but I don't see that happening in like in-game live action. Now, if it's a cutscene, I can see that happening, but I don't see that happening, one-on-one like that. You're
Yeah.
at least gonna have your gun.
Yeah, exactly. And in a real life scenario, you wouldn't equip your knife when you see a tough guy right behind you. Would, if you have a weapon already on your inventory or something, you would pick your handgun or shotgun or whatever you have, not a
Yeah.
knife.
Yeah, so I mean,
He
I
would
don't.
go full on
But now
rage.
I can totally
Rage.
see like if later on like past that like how they usually or how they fought in the original. I can totally see like that being an option. Like if he comes at you, because in the original he comes at you and like kicks you and all types of stuff. I can see it being an option now that when he comes at you, okay, you got your knife out, you can parry his attacks and stuff like that. I can see that happening, but I just don't see that the iconic knife fight. I do not see that being an in-game fight scene or an in-game fight.
Yeah, neither do I. Well, kind of that. I was kind of possibly thinking that, but mainly I think they should keep it how it was in the original, though. Like with the quick time events. And if it is a live fight, they should probably like have something where Leon gets his weapons taken away beforehand.
Right.
Like where
Mhm.
you know how Ethan lost his gun before the Donna Benevient Angie boss fight in
I
Village?
mean, all right,
Like
and
how that.
I'll even devil's advocate here. Okay, let's say it was an in-game fight, right? I
Mm-hmm.
would agree with it, and I would be, I would accept it if it made sense. Like, okay, you and Krauser, you encounter Krauser. There's a cutscene, and he knocks the gun out your hand. Next thing you know, you just have your knife, and you do fight,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, that.
you're not gonna fight to win. You're fighting to survive until Ada Wong appears to save you. That would make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Like I mean, I can see that happening. I mean, that would be like I guess like the only logical way for that to happen is that you're just pretty much fighting to stay alive until Ada Wong can come and save you, if she does.
And now moving on to Sadler. I know we haven't seen much of him, but like we did see a little glimpse of his face. So, like I think he looks pretty cool. Like in the first trailer, we saw his outfit and stuff and his body, and in the trailer we got at the showcase, we saw some of his face.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
I think he looks good.
I think Sadler looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
One
like
thing I think, like, they might like the staff doesn't look as as intimidating as it did in the original. But
oh, did he have the
yeah,
staff? I can't remember if he had the
yeah,
staff
he
with him or
had the
not.
staff.
Okay.
I mean, I personally don't care about Sadler that much. He is like the original, and that's enough for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to kind of mess that up, because like his whole body was covered in the robe, anyways, and his face really isn't that
Yeah, right.
important.
yeah,
But
Yeah, it's just a place, and I didn't really care about Sadler in the original. Just he is not as iconic as the other villains, if you would say.
yeah, really. I mean, he's
yeah.
just like he just suffers from like final boss syndrome. Like by the time you get there, it's like okay, well, I've had so many good encounters that like, it's whatever. But I
Like
mean,
Krauser kind
he
of overshadowed him in the original. I kind of think,
well, yeah,
like,
and then even then you can kill Krauser just by knifing him all the way through.
yeah, like they should keep that in. I think because it's become so iconic. Like the easy way to kill Krauser with the knife for the boss fight. Like I
Yeah,
Well,
right.
I
personally think they
guess
should
yeah.
keep that just because it's become so like such a staple to the game. Like I thought, like when I played, I did that at first because I didn't have a lot of ammo the first time I beat RE4. And I was at the Krauser boss fight. I didn't have a lot of ammo, so I just went in with the knife, and I realized I was doing a lot of damage. So like I personally think that they should keep that, but they should also make it slightly easier to kill him with the guns. Cause
Well, I mean,
like he's like way too OP against guns, but then way too
Yeah,
easy to
right.
kill with the knife. Like
well, that just goes back to like the whole parry system. Obviously they're gonna want you to use your knife, but then you also have to think about this too. Is like they're not dumb this time. I mean, like we're not not saying that they were the previous time, but the knife deteriorates. So if you go up there and you try to knife Krauser, you can't. I don't think it's gonna be possible this time around. Like yeah,
you'll
you may
probably
be
have to
able
do
to like
like what you did with Birkin in RE2, like have two or three knives with you.
right, either two or three, which I'm not sure if you can do that or not, or because it's too early to say. But like I can definitely see it being a combination. Like like for example, yes, you can kill Krauser with a knife, but it's gonna be a combination of you doing more things. Like it's not gonna just be a knife. You're gonna have to like go in and either you knife him first and then you kill him with the gun, or you have to do damage with the gun and then kill him off with the knife. I think it's gonna have to be a combination of the two.
Yeah.
But then
Maybe like the
moving on,
classic
if
type of Dark Souls boss fight. You have to
right,
do
right,
tons of things in order to just, cut the health a little bit, lower the health a little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
And then
but
moving on.
so like
So,
the merchant.
oh yeah, the merchant. All right, what do y'all think about his design?
Okay, okay. The design looks fine. I mean, it's the merchant, recognizable and all. But my concern is the voice actor, man. Come
I
on.
know, like it doesn't have the same feel as the original merchant.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
The
and that's true.
previous
But one
merchant
thing,
felt strong.
Like if they're not bringing Paul back for Leon, they could at least bring him back for the merchant. Like, dang.
I don't know.
well,
I also researched a lot, and there is nothing to be found about Paul Mercier on the internet. You guys know anything about him lately?
oh,
No,
I'm
not
not sure.
lately.
Yeah. All
But I
right.
will say that one thing I did pick up on in the trailer is that he does seem to have like that charming attitude that the original had. Because obviously the original's like infamous for like, oh, what are you buying, stranger, and things like that. And I was, I made a video on this as well, and I was kind of fearful that we're not gonna get that in the remake. But it's looking pretty promising now because you can kind of see in the trailer he's kind of joking and laughing a little bit and like having a good time with Leon. But I guess really it's gonna boil down to, is Leon gonna respond to him? Because in the original, Leon just never says anything, but you have the merchant, it's all one sided. So hopefully this time they interact a little bit.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
the
would like
original
to.
has only two cutscenes with merchants. I mean, the one that says "Over here, stranger," and the other one, the tunnels.
Yeah, in the
And
Yeah,
tunnels, and that's it.
here, yeah, yeah. I hope they
And
expand upon it, man.
and then even like with
Only
Ada
two cutscenes,
Wong,
not enough.
you didn't
Yeah,
even
right.
get nothing extra with Ada Wong too. So
oh
again,
yeah, like
hopefully this time around, when we play as Ada Wong, hopefully they get some kind of interaction between them two. That'd be pretty cool.
yeah,
Also,
that'd
there's
be
someone in the
pretty good.
chat says more lore for merchants and connection with the Duke.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
But
what I was
not
about to
lore for
say.
the
Like,
merchants. Wouldn't you think that the lore for merchants isn't, appropriate for merchants? Because he's mysterious.
yeah,
Nobody knows who he is.
yeah,
But
I
at the
don't
Yeah,
want to
same
get
time,
a
so
lot of
I kind of
lore.
want to know.
so yeah,
Like, if they
that's
just,
kind of that may be the charm too. Like that's his charm. Like there's not too much to be known about him except for of the things he said and what he does. He's there to provide Leon with one purpose, and that is to be a merchant. Provide him with the ammo and the weapon upgrades that he needs to find Ashley, and that's it. Like that was his character. So now, this time around, now that Capcom knows how people feel about the merchant, I mean, look what they did with the Duke. The Duke is interactive with Ethan, you know,
mm-hmm.
and even helps Ethan and things like that. I don't think the merchant in Resident Evil 4 Remake is going to be that extensive or go that far with Leon, but just a few interactions is all I'm asking for.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
As
was
RE
thinking,
Village, the Duke was, talked to Ethan too a lot. I mean, he gave instructions and all. In here, though, I see the merchant has kind of Duke's feelings, if you know what I mean. Especially in that teaser that we saw,
Hmm.
the player bought something, and the reaction was a lot like the Duke. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, and he does something with his two hands. It reminds me a lot of Merchant, a lot of the Duke,
Yeah, so I
and
mean
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully, I'm pretty sure this time around they're gonna add a little bit to it. Now, if they may make a like direct reference to the Duke,
like,
it would be kind of interesting to see how they do that.
I
I
wouldn't
honestly
want to
thought
get a lot.
I had a theory that we may see Duke, but not a fat Duke. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, like,
after all, it's 20 years before the RE8, right? 20 years or something.
Right.
And I thought
mm-hmm.
we might see Duke in a thinner look, as you would say.
Uh-huh. I was thinking maybe they shouldn't add a whole ton of new lore for the merchant. Like, keep it mysterious and everything, but maybe just like a file. Like, sometimes the merchant will be where he's at and sometimes he won't, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when he's not at his places, then you could go and look there, and then you could see some files that maybe he left behind. something saying something about a fat man, probably just as a little nod to
No.
the Duke.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he
well, one
crossed
thing,
paths with another merchant that's fat or something.
one thing I hope they do decide to bring back from the original would be the ability to kill the merchant. You know,
Oh
in the
yeah,
original, you can kill the merchant, and I can't remember for sure or not if he does disappear for the whole game
only
or
on
not.
professional he
Only
does.
on okay, on professional he does. Okay, so like in the remake, it would be cool for them to bring back that option, and it would be cool if the merchant can defend himself, because
Oh.
in the original Resident Evil 4 remake, if you shoot Lewis too many times during the cabin
Oh
segment, he
yeah,
will shoot and kill you. So that would be pretty cool if something like that similar can happen with the merchant, but
like
not to where he can like fully like it's a cutscene and the merchant kills you. No, like he just pulls a gun out and he'll start shooting you. I mean, or whatever the case may be. But if you do kill the merchant successfully, maybe he'll drop a letter. Maybe he's got a journal on him that you can read, and
Oh.
then you can see stuff about the Duke.
or
No
like it
way.
could be like in like GTA games when you go to like rob the gun store in GTA and then the guy pulls out a gun and starts fighting your guy. Like that's
Yeah,
what it should be like with the
yeah.
Duke.
Like, I
Like
mean,
if you
some
go to
yes,
kill him, then he'll try killing your guy,
yeah, like not you don't
and
have to
then
make
it'll
it
be
too
like a
dramatic or nothing.
fight.
Right? Just do that, and if you kill him, if you're able to kill him, like let's say for example, you point the gun at him and he's RK. If you point the gun at him, it activates a thing where he like can shoot you, and it's a one shot kill regardless.
Warns you firstly, maybe.
Right, or something, or anything like that, right? But it
Mm.
would be cool, like if you kill him and he drops something, and you can, inspect it and read something about him. They can add lore in that way also.
Yeah.
But you have to pay for it. You have to kill him.
All right, y'all. So it's been pretty close to 2 hours. Maybe we could go over one more topic and then, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
let's get it. One more.
All right, one more
Yeah, one more
topic
fine.
could be thoughts about um all right, thoughts
Winter's
about RE
returning,
verse
maybe.
so far,
Oh, reverse. Okay.
or any of the Winters
Well,
is returning, whichever one you guys want to pick,
What was it? RE verse or
or the winter or Rose returning, Rose and Mia.
let's see. I mean, those like the winters are done. Like they've it's come to an end. But I can see them bringing back Rose for like a Rev 3. Just because obviously she has her powers and she does have some connection to Chris. Like she's relevant in Chris's life, so I can see that happening. Maybe she'll get a cameo in Resident Evil 9 if Chris does go to the BSAA. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a co-op experience and Rose is with him
Mm-hmm.
or Jill. But I mean, other than that, I mean, me personally, like, here on those last two topics, like, I'm glad the Winter Saga's over. I'm glad now we can like move forward and not have to theorize because I don't think Rose or Mia or any of them is coming back. Like, it's a happy ending for them. That it's over. I mean, we may see Rose again in a film or in a something, but I think it's over. And then for RE verse is a great time, but it's going to need some more modes. Like, it does get boring playing free for all over and over again, and then the rank system's bad. Like, if for example, they have different tiers, and I've been trying to get like to 2,000 points, because if you get to 2,000 points and you rank up, well, there's been like 5 games I would get first place and only get +4. Okay, and then if I
Wow.
go and I get and then if I go and I get fourth place, then you lose 28 points. So like it's very challenging and hard. I think they need to like tweak the rank system.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
my thoughts
so I
about.
would. Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. All right. My thoughts first about the Winters is returning. Rose and Mia. Maybe they could do something like. I think they should definitely go back. With the next mainline game, go back before the DLC, but after Village, like directly after regular Village, right? And then they should probably include Rose, like something about her childhood, maybe make a CG movie or something, and then like with a couple games have her like about her childhood, right? In RE9, maybe that could be like a side thing. Her like
Right.
trying to live with her powers and stuff. And then they should also bring her back as a full-grown adult if the series is still going at that point. Like in 16 years from now, like in actual time, if the series of Resident Evil is still going by then, they should bring her back as an adult to just surprise people, because then it'd be kind of like bringing back an OG character, because by
Yeah.
then we'll be at like Resident Evil 13 or something. So then, yeah. And then the only person would probably be Sherry and maybe Rebecca from any of the other games. Besides possibly Chris or Leon or some of them being still alive. But like we'd have Sherry, Rose, Rebecca. Like that'd be a pretty solid lineup for some OG characters or something. But as of right now, I think maybe they should focus on some legacy characters or just introducing some new ones.
Yeah, totally. I feel like the new ones. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the new games, as you said, they better focus on the legacy characters. I mean, the new Resident Evil games were like, okay, we have Ethan Winters, we have Rose, and we see a legacy character, Chris. But what is going on with the previous ones? Like, uh, bring them back in Resident Evil 9. Maybe add one of Winter's family, like somehow bring back Ethan or Rose. But as for that's about my idea about Winter's family returning. I really love Ethan Winters, and I truly hope he returns somehow. I have no idea how he would return currently, but that's for it. And my thoughts about Resident Evil Verse. Well, to be honest, as I mentioned earlier, I haven't played it yet, but so I'm not gonna criticize it really strongly. But
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen, uh, it's it gets repetitive, I assume,
Hmm.
um, because of the lack of content because of lack of content, you know. But we'll probably have to wait till the new updates released. I know maybe characters, maps, and all stuff. No.
Yeah, we'll have to see where the game stands after we
Yeah.
finish that roadmap, because it even said like they have even more content planned after those initial first three updates. But I feel like by the third update, if the player base isn't strong, then the game is just gonna die off, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with these type of multiplayer Resident Evil games. The only way that works for Resident Evil, as we mentioned earlier, discussed earlier, is the Outbreak map.
Hmm.
Yeah, that if they were to like bring back that Outbreak style of multiplayer, that could very well be like the next GTA 5, like you said earlier. And
Capcom would make Resident Evil great again. You know
Right.
what I mean?
yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. No, that's gonna do it for me, you all. I mean, I don't know if y'all are still continuing, or y'all still going, or is that it?
Oh no, I just had one more thing to add. Cause I talked about them bringing back Rose, but not a bunch about Mia. So, I think possibly if they were to bring Mia back, maybe in RE9 she could act as a protagonist alongside some legacy characters. Like maybe they could bring back Chris and Jill, right? Possibly even Leon or Claire. All right, but then have Mia be like a side character who would kind of serve as like a Hunnigan role if there was something about the connections. Because Mia used to work for the connections, as you guys probably know. So she would have some dirt on them and also know some things that the BSAA and Chris don't know.
I mean, I can see Mia being like just making like a brief cameo. I
Yeah.
don't know if she would be in the game like, full blown like Hannigan or something like that. But I can definitely seeing like, Chris bring her into a room like, hey, we hear it could be the
Just a quick
organization
reference.
that did all this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see a quick reference to her as well, but not
Yeah.
entirely.
Right, and
Gotta
then
give
just leave it at
dedicated
that.
for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly believe like the winters are done, and like unfortunately, it's just how it is now. Like we got to keep moving on. I mean, we still got Resident Evil 9 coming, which they may or may not make an appearance, and then you got 4 is obviously the front page right now. You got Resident Evil 9 probably being worked on, and then other future remake titles. So I mean, right now it's just a great time to be a Resident Evil fan.
I know,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really is. And yeah, I guess that'll do it for today. If you guys
Yeah, it was really fun.
enjoyed
Oh
this,
yeah, it was a great time.
make sure to go check out a Raccoon City Survivor, Purple Herb, Evil Bacon, Mr. Kennedy, and T-Type. T-Type wasn't here, but still go check him out. They all make super good Resident Evil content. And yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
if you
Yeah,
guys
thank you.
enjoyed this, thank you both for joining also. It'd be
Thanks
very
for
fun to
inviting.
do this again sometime.
Oh yeah, we should definitely do this again. That was great.
And
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
thank you all for watching, and thank you guys for joining. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.
All right,
Peace
see y'all next
out.
time.
See y'all later.
See ya.
Peace. Alright, y'all. And now, you already know what time it is. It's outro time. Alright, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Go check out Evil Bacon, T-Type, Purple Herb, and a Raccoon City Survivor. And I'll see you all. Mr. Kennedy as well. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Bagels Battles. Bam, 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 bam.